Hey everyone, welcome. It's good to be back this week. I missed last week due to illness, so I'm really happy to be here tonight. Thank you for joining me for my weekly Facebook Live, and thank you to those who are sharing as well. I do appreciate that. Please say hi to me. I'm really excited for this tonight. I'm sharing three cards with you tonight using the Perched Dinner Tree bundle from our mini catalog. Lots of tips on how to use that stamp set and the accompanying dies, which you can get at the moment for free during Sale-A-Bration. So that's a bit of a bonus, but this stamp set actually caught my eye initially when the catalog released, and I really loved it. So uh, I'm really looking forward to sharing these cards with you, and hope you find inspiration in what I'm sharing. And please comment um, um, with anything what you're liking, and ask any questions as we go along. So the Perched in a Tree bundle, if you have your catalog, is on page 46 of our mini catalog. If you need a catalog sent out to you, please comment and I will get in touch with you for getting that out to you. Just giving a moment for people to hop on. I was a few minutes late as well, so it'll come up in people's feed. And I'll just share it to my groups as well. And this is the bundle. It's that particular image just drew my eye, and I like that you can use it for Christmas or you can use it for other occasions. It would make a great masculine card as well. I think sometimes we're always wondering uh, how to share, like how to create masculine cards. I think that would make a great masculine card as well. So well, I've got three cards. You get the Perched in a Tree stamp set, and as you can see, it's got some sentiments suited to Christmas. So let heaven and nature sing. The wishing you abundant peace and joy could be Christmas, but you could tailor it for any other occasion. Um, and if or some just a general sort of greeting, then your kindness warms my heart would be like a thank you. This is more thinking of you no matter the season. I'm here for you, or a sympathy. So you've got some really great ideas on how to use this stamp set and dies here. The dies at the moment are free with $180 purchase, so that is one of our Sale-A-Bration offerings right now. Tonight I will be using these three ink colors. We will be using Pool Party, Tahitian Tide, and Early Espresso. Those are the inks I am going with tonight. I will be doing some heat embossing on one, so therefore you will need a Versamark, but if you stick with these, and you'll be able to mix and match your projects. Now for my first card. I can hear myself. That's not good. All right. So I've got a basic white. We'll just do this one first, which is a basic white card base. And this is a pretty clean and simple card. Lots of white space on this one, and it gives that nice crisp look. I've got a matte layer in basic white as well, which I'm going to emboss with the timber embossing folder. Now, this timber embossing folder is another Sale-A-Bration product. So, the Aspen dies, which we're using, and this timber embossing folder are are in our regular range in our catalogs at the moment. So, the Aspen dies are in our mini catalog, and the timber embossing folder is in our annual catalog. So, we have in our Sale-A-Bration range some of our um, products which are from our catalogs. These are on offer currently until the 31st of August as free products. So it's a good chance for you to get those products for free without having to purchase. If you're if you want to get other things, it's a good time. So I'm going to emboss this. I'm bringing in my die cutting machine. I'm going to call it the Scan because it's just easier. It's a stamping cut and emboss machine. So this is a 3D embossing folder. So you just need your base plate, which is plate 1, and then you need your plate 4. And this will fit in your large machine. And you get a really nice embossed background there. Now, my newsletter subscribers are going to get the tutorials for all these cards this week free. So if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, please make sure you subscribe to it, but you will get all the written tutorials for these cards. So that's 3 tutorials to make up for last week when I didn't get one out to you. So and that newsletter will come out by the end of this week. So let's get our stamp set. I created these cards like it was so quick. It's because it's such a nice stamp set. I was on a roll. Like it's just so easy to create with this stamp set. Like in probably in less than an hour, I was able to just design them. So we're taking this little branch and I'm inking it up in early espresso and stamping it on craft cardstock. Now our craft cardstock pack comes in a 6x6 pack of, I think it's 20 sheets. So you get a good amount, but I obviously liked it because I'm nearly at the end of that, so I need to get another bunch of that ordered. So I will be placing an order in the next few days. So if you are wanting me to order for you, I can do that, or you are welcome to order online. So I've got that ready. The next thing I'm going to do is stamp that bird. I think it's sort of a bird that can make whatever you choose, right? Like the colors and everything work well. So I'm going to stamp that in Pool Party. So we'll bring Pool Party in. And then we'll die cut this. I'm sorry if you are commenting. I'm just not seeing any comments. If you are, I will check that out later. It's not that I'm ignoring you. So got my dies ready, and then the sentiment I want to use on this will be heat embossed. So I'm going to do that in a sec. So we're back with the stem. And our cutting plates. So this time we've got 1 and 3, 2 and 3. So that's for our cutting. And I always use my bottom plate, keep that the same. And we probably can run these together. I'll put a little bit more washi so it doesn't move around, and hopefully that'll work. So we can do that together. The craft cardstock adds a lovely natural look to this, and just more muted tones for that. I will put up the link. If you are not a newsletter subscriber, I will put that up soon after this, so you can sign up for my newsletter and get these tutorials free when my next newsletter goes out. So we've got our bird, our branch cut out of stamped in early espresso and die cut from craft cardstock. The next thing is Isla's sentiment, and I am using the wishing you abundant joy and peace. I'm going to use gold embossing powder. I just because I'm going to be using some gold foil on this as well. So we'll use our embossing buddy, which comes with our embossing additions toolkit. That just makes the Versamark, which is a sticky kind of clear ink pad, and stick when you stamp, the embossing powder should only stick it on the where you've stamped. It does assist in that. Then I'm tapping the gold embossing powder. Now that's because that little mark is probably because I stamped maybe a little bit too hard, and I'll see whether it comes off. If not, I will restamp that. Sometimes it leaves a bit of residue, and I don't like that look. That's the edge of that stamp, which you can see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just redo that. On the other side, just prefer to be do it right. And I pressed a bit too hard, I think. So there's lots of goodies with Sale-A-Bration. Sale-A-Bration ends next Wednesday, so on the 31st of August. So you've still got a week to score some of those freebies, which is good. if you haven't registered for my Christmas retreat, you can qualify with that too if you register now. The Christmas retreat is on the 29th of October, but you can qualify for some freebies if you register for all 3 classes by the 31st of by the 30th of August. I put it as the 30th only because it enables me to place that order before the 31st. So check that out. Christmas retreat we've got registrations going on at the moment, and it's going to be so much fun. I've got lots of um, um, really fun projects and just lots of good times planned. They are looking forward to it. Give that a bit of a clean. All right, so now we're going to just heat emboss this. Bring in my heat gun and on setting 2, give it a heat. And you can see that changing. Just move it around a bit. Go from the back. I'm going to heat that back just so that that bit I had it in my mouth doesn't get powder all over the card. All right, so that's done. I've got the one of the deckled rectangle dies here to cut that out. So at the start, we heat I'm gonna get another piece of this. At the start, we embossed that piece of basic white with the timber embossing folder. So we're gonna bring that back in as well. And that is going to be put on a piece of this brushed metallic cardstock. Now I'm going to cut this down a bit. I'm going to get it at 9.5 by 13.8. When I do my tutorials, you'll get the measurements in both metric and in imperial. So now I'm going to lay that down on that mat. I might cut that a bit shorter as well. But you can see that that middle bit is not going to be seen, so I don't want to waste that special. I don't worry too much if it's basic cardstock, but when it's like specialty cardstock, I'd like to cut that out and save it for another project because it's so pretty. And not that our normal cardstock isn't, but I just like to be able to reuse that. So I've got another of my larger deco rectangles, and I'm just showing you. I'm not going to be using that middle bit, but I'm cutting it out, getting it ready for another project, and saving some cardstock while I'm at it. Now, just a warning: when you get this, when you use the plates, these marks will transfer onto your foil, right? Now I'm using as a mat. I don't worry. It will transfer onto this. One way I've found is to use some copy paper or just between this and your foil. So it stops that. I'm not worrying about it for now, but avoids it. And don't reuse that copy paper again, because then those marks will transfer onto another piece of foil. So I will show you. Sometimes it hasn't done it on this piece, but you can just see it there. But by just putting that little extra shim in between, it stops that those marks going through. It's just the nature of the die and how it is, or the die cutting machine, I should say. What happens? Oh, and I forgot to cut my sentiment. Here we go. Let's bring that back. Our next card is a 2-for-1. So we going to do a technique, and you're going to see what you can do when you and get 2 out of one technique. So hang around for that. So that's our sentiment. Now we're going to assemble this card. So we're going to be using this little frame we created, and you can see when you put that on top of that, you can't see anything what's happened that we've cut out or anything like that. Then I've got a basic white, there's my other one. This was the wonky one. One was a bit off center. Oh no, here's the other one. Sometimes when I cut it from the same cardstock, and one was just wrong. So this one is gonna go like that, and I'm gonna stick that, and then I've still got a little bit more die cutting, and I'll bring that in a sec. All right, so we're just gonna make sure we've got all our little pieces together. Now we have this. This was one of the original Sale-A-Bration products that was in the Sale-A-Bration brochure. So if you have got that, this gold and silver paper is in there. So it's really nice, and of course you can color it and do fun techniques with it. I'm going to cut this little bit of flowers or foliage out of it, and I just thought I'd try it, and it turned out really good. I like the look of it, and I think you could even color it. There's a stamp as well with that sort of a look on it, but I think it looks really good with this add a touch of gold on it. So you can see what I mean, but it's lots of white, but white is a nice look, that clean look. So we'll stick this down. Just put a little bit of glue on the edge. Because sometimes when you get too much, it's hard when you get it on foil. It leaves a residue, and that's hard to get off. And we're going to glue that straight down on our basic white card base. I'm going to first put down my sentiment. Those guys are stuck together. Then I can add the rest. I think this would just gonna move that to the right. Um, that sort of sentiment is just even good for this Christmas season. So if you kind of miss um the actual day and like um you can send it a bit later and it would be, it's just a nice sentiment. We'll glue this down a little branch. Why don't I push that down a bit? And little flowers or leaves cut out of that gold foil. And then we can stick our bird down. And how cute is that? I mean, you don't need to color the bird at all. You can just leave it as is. So that's one way to do that cute little bird. I'm thinking it may need some bling. Oh yeah, this one for sure. These festive pearls. These are so pretty. And we've got gold here. You get 4 colors in them. Got the silver and gold. And red, or it's where did he go? Yeah, and it's like a sweet sorbet, sort of not bright red, and looks like a pool party, like very nice. That one doesn't want to come with me. It is being difficult. All right. Now for how I would decorate this the inside, I would just stamp that bird because we're not coloring it, and so it's nice and easy for us to just stamp that down. You could, I might even, this one I'll stamp off and just do that straight in the middle, and you can write over it, just like a watermark kind of look. And then we'll do that. All right, so we've got that. That's our first card we've done. I give our stamps a bit of a clean, because we need to use some of them again, not all of them. So the stamp case I've got is one of our old wood cases, but you can definitely use it. It fits these chamois fit in the regular cases as well, which are available in our store. All right. So next card, or the next 2 cards, we're kind of going to go, it makes 2, we're making one at a time, but it's preparation for 2. So in these dies, you get this really large die, which is like a woodland scene. Really nice, great for creating a background. You get some leaves and things which we'll be using as well. So it's a really nice die. I'm going to be using craft cardstock. So I've got this. So again, that's that pack. It's very cost effective. It's just not expensive at all, and you get 20 sheets, so it lasts you forever. And I'm going to cut a piece of this down to 4. I'm going to go the full length. It's 14.8, and I'm going to go 10.5. So that's the size of a card base. Now, so this will fit like that. I'm creating a stencil right now. So we'll bring our stamping cut and emboss machine, and it is a detail die, but it cuts, and it cuts really well. You know, sometimes you need to cut things over and over with detail dies. This one cuts really well, but great for giving some texture to those backgrounds. Giving one now. So it's like an Easter egg shape. But you can do that so the edges don't cut out. You'll see what I mean. So it stays in. So you can do nice inlay techniques as well. So cut through. Okay. So this is how it cuts out. So it's not actually cutting out that oval shape. It's cutting the inside of it. So it pops out really easily. Have a bin close by, others you'll be vacuuming like I am after this. Just get your Take a Pic tool and pop them out. They're real easy to do. Alright. So for this one, I have got a basic white card base again. And I've got some Pool Party and some silver. Now, I said the brush metallic cardstock is a freebie. This silver cardstock is also one you can earn for free. My brush metallic is, I've got bits and pieces of it. Now, this is my second pack of this silver. So you get in a pack 3 different textures or yeah, I guess it's a texture or finishes, I should say, of this. So I'm using this one. So this is, you can choose this as one of your freebies, which an order or during celebration. So we are taking our Pool Party card stuff. So I will have all the measurements for you in a tutorial. And I'm laying this, I'm using this as a stencil right now. I'm just going to put that over there. So like centering it where I want. You just pick whatever you like, how you like it to work. Doesn't matter. I'm using shimmery white embossing paste. So we have just the plain embossing paste, and this is shimmery white. So it's got like a bit of a it's got quite a bit of shimmer. My recommendation when you use embossing paste, you keep that silver cap on. Always keep that on, even after you open it. I know mine's not properly on, but it keeps it nice and soft. Now I haven't. This is one I have had for ages, and it's like soft as anything. So just remember that, and then keep it closed. I'm gonna run my embossing. See that? I'll show you this close up. It's got a nice shimmer to it. Now you could color that. You can color the embossing paste with any of our ink refills. But yeah, you could color the shimmer and get some shimmer. So get it right to the edges of this piece. I will move it to the right because I may not need to. I'll see how it looks on the Pool Party. when you use embossing paste, just make sure, I haven't got water here next to me, but at home you will, I am at home, but you'll be able to wash it straight away so it doesn't dry. I mean, I have left my, like after doing a live or a class, I will wash it later. It just takes a bit more elbow grease to get it done, and it will wash. But it's like using, I guess building your tools are not like fully clean after. Just it will have something on it, so I'm not overly fussed. All right, so you can have it more textured like that or whatever. Doesn't matter. All right, so then when you lift it up, you're gonna get this. Right now, that is anyway. All right. I was just going to use this as a stencil when I planned this card, and I was going to use this. And then I saw this and I thought, I can't throw that away. And that's how my second card came to be. So we have our little piece there. And then I've got some of this silver paper from that silver and gold foil. So I've used the gold before, and I've got the silver now. And I'm going to bring in this leaf, which is in this Aspen dies. Now the Aspen dies, as I said, is a freebie with this set. This is the mat we're going to use for our pool party embossed piece, right? So let's cut some leaves out of the center of this so we can make the most of that piece of foil. Well, we'll just leave that. Embossing paste doesn't take too long to dry. I just want to leave it a little bit. Has anyone got this Aspen dies and the Perched in a Tree bundle? Let me know what you think of the effect of the, whether you like the look of the embossing paste on it with it. These cards are quick to make because I probably did it an hour designing and putting it together. That's and you could do this as well when I've given you all the instructions. Make it easier even, and when you do in bulk, it's even quicker, isn't it? I've been creating lots of Father's Day cards because we had a market last week, and then I've got an order this week, and I've pulled out all my old Father's Day stamps, new Father's Day stamps. They're sitting here. Every hobby you can think of, I've got it out. Ooh. I lost the leaf. So that's that leaf. Sorry, that fell down. Did I show you the detail of the other one? So you get that these are really beautiful because it's not only die cutting, it's embossing the beautiful veins in the leaves, and it's just got so much texture to these leaves. Such a pretty just autumn kind of look. I just love the leaves. You can just create a whole card with just the leaves. And this foil, could be just me. This particular sheet has a bit, I think, of a purpley or a mauve tinge to it. So I don't know. That's just what I feel. But it's all silver, but just different finishes. So now we've got 3 leaves from that piece of foil. And we can bring in our pool party cardstock. I don't know whether I told you it was pool party cardstock. It needs a little bit more drying time. But you might just go with it. I'm gonna, I'll leave it that way. And we'll just glue it straight down. Again, I'm just adding the glue around. I'm not putting it in the center. I generally put glue just on the corners. You don't want to put it in the center because you've got blank space there. So today I have an ordering special going till Sunday. If you place an order of $150, I will throw in this white organdy glimmer ribbon, a roll of ribbon free. So at $90, you're going to qualify for a Sale-A-Bration reward. You are going to qualify for my free tutorial bundle, which has over 30 tutorials for August. That tutorial bundle is available for sale at $28 by itself, so that's $28 of value. And this organdy ribbon, which we're going to use on this project, when your order reaches $150, I will send that to you separately, free at the start of September once I place my orders. So that's an ordering special I will have running until Sunday. You do need to use the hoist code, which I will pop up. So it's also on my website. If your order is over 250, don't use that hoist code because you're going to get your own stamping rewards on that. And so you can get more free stuff. But that's just a little bit sticky yet. It's not completely dry, but I'm just moving this along. All right, so all I've done is added a little 2 bits of tear and tape there to stick our ribbon onto. That was not wise. I turned it upside down. All right, so this white organdy ribbon is actually was there last year. It's been popular. It's a really nice ribbon, and white you can color it with any color you like. So it can become pink organdy ribbon, or if you want red, just take a blend, one of our stamping blends, and color it. So we're just gonna add that there, and I'm just gonna glue that. I'm making sure I'm just putting a little bit in that center. Isn't that sweet? The shimmer paste. I have to say I don't use a lot of the shimmer paste, and when I saw this, I just thought, oh, Christmassy, and it just needs that little bit of shimmer. Now we've got this and a silver leaf. I'm gonna tie a bow. We need a sentiment. It's white, but it's got like flakes through it, which is really sweet. Alrighty. Where is my glue dots? Sometimes I say goes to God things on my table. I just used it, didn't I? Oh, here it is. Lucky I have a few. Alright, just put a glue dot here. And I'm going to put some dimensionals under these guys. There. Oops, that didn't stick down. Stick that down. I might put another one just to make it extra secure. Because of all that shimmer, sometimes it might be tricky to stick down, so make sure it's secure for posting and things. You don't want it to mess up there. Now for our sentiment, let's see what we're going to do. We will choose, what about your kindness warms my heart? Good to try out all the sentiments in a stamp set and see which one you like. Well, that's what I think. Some sentiments don't do anything for me, but you never know who likes what sentiment. That's the thing. All right, I am going to. I was rushing, and I'm using a bit my thick basic white cardstock here because I need to open up a packet of the basic, just the regular cardstock. So we'll use Pool Party for the sentiment. Keep it more muted. You can stamp it in silver, embosser mark, and emboss in silver if you like. I think this just keeps it a little bit muted. Let's see with whether oh, that fits. That's good. These sort of shapes are really good. You can keep using them and get mileage out of it. So I'm just die cutting this. Okay, so we'll put that there. I'm going to overlap it. I just like sometimes that, so it's not inside the square all the time. It just adds a little bit of extra when you put that out. Creates, oh, see, there's a bit of embossing paste there. That's okay. That's come out. Must have been on my fingers. So when at home, just let it dry a little bit extra. And we put some of this silver. Just making sure that sticks. We may have to do a little bit of extra on that too. It's not sticking because of that shimmer paste, so I might put some glue on that, and it could be also because it's not 100% dry. Nothing like being impatient, isn't it? Impatient crafters. Me being pedantic now, I just want to change this. Okay. I'll just put a bit of glue on this, and that should do it. This liquid glue is amazing, so it should do the trick. Just hold it for a sec. Right, so for a bit of a, we don't have any leafy things or anything like that, so I am just going to put some of these splatters in there, which I love. And it just adds a little bit of texture as well. But you can even use some of that designer series paper. The silver designer series paper would be nice as well. I have to let it rest. All right, we'll do the envelope. That's good. He doesn't want to wait there. And I'll just leave it on the side, let it dry. I'm not going to do the inside for now. I will leave it. Now, the next card is we're going to use this other bit we used as a stencil before. So let's see what we can do with that. It's sometimes nice this when you're not planning to do something with that, and then it it's too pretty to just throw away. It's got the glimmer, and it's just nice. So see what you can do with leftovers, so to say. But you can even use that as a complete card base. Right, so I've got a piece of just a basic white card mat. So it's 9.9 by 14.2, and I've got a crumb cake card base. So I'm using this and this splodgy kind of stamp, and this one. First up is Pool Party, and I am going to stamp around this piece of basic white. And this is a fun technique to use with any stamps you've got. You can do lots with it. And I might even go in a little bit more, but yeah. It just creates a really cute border and a nice backdrop for your card. Just filling in that. Now, the next is this dots. Then I use the Tahitian tide, and I'm gonna go right over here, and then I'm gonna bring some in, stamp on and stamp off. By just creating a nice little background for. So I'm just gonna add a few more spots there. I can see a bit of gap. Then I'm bringing in a sentiment. Oops, don't need that. Just going to give this a clean and use this block. Well, we're making a Christmas card. So we'll use Let Heaven and Nature Sing. Gotta love a card where you can just stamp the sentiment directly instead of having to cut and die cut and all that. So if you're doing multiples, this is great. All right, so a little bit you can just see. Now, for me, that's a bit too busy there. I'm going to flip that. I'm going to cover that. Don't worry. I am going to put Let Heaven and Nature Sing there. So you can see it. It's a bit clearer. The same kind of thing happened on my sample card. So it's funny. But we work with it. Next, our little bird. And I've got some shimmer white cardstock. And as I'm speaking, I am looking for my water painter, which I did have, but I'm going to use an old one I have. But the ones you have won't be like this. So we have different, these are the older ones we had. I was using the other one before. But it'll work the same. You get three in a you get three in a pack. Okay. I thought, no, you do. You get three different widths, and one's a bit finer. I would use probably the middle one for this. I'm stamping in early espresso. So generally for watercoloring, you would use StazOn ink. Now we have a saddle brown StazOn or jet black StazOn. Sometimes I want just a lighter color. Now just saddle brown would have been fine. So I've just gone to minimize the amount of colors I'm using, and to make it easier, I've used early espresso. You need to be careful when you use the inks are water based. So I'm not doing too much blending. I'm using shimmery white cardstock. I'm just using minimal blending for this technique. So otherwise you're going to drag the color into the outline color into your image. It doesn't matter. You can always dry it and do it, but it's just a little tip. Now, the watercoloring is the quickest way to color. It's quicker than pencils, and it's quicker than blends if you want something really quick. And I know some people are really scared of watercoloring, but it is super quick. I'm going to get a tissue. So I'm going to start with don't want red, which is what I've used before. Now, I'm just going to stamp or put some ink on my blocks and use that as my palette. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I still haven't got the refills, which is on my current order for, I haven't ordered it for this lot of ink colors. So I thought this is another way you can use it, but I need now because I'm needing to replace my inks here. And then for pool party, you do the same, right? So I'm just using that as a palette. Let me bring that closer. And I have a fairly dry brush, so to speak, so it's not runny. If you see it's starting to get murky, just leave it alone and go back to it. Now I'm just going to bring in some pool party. So I'm not sitting on one area for too long. And you don't really need a lot of color on this. It just gives it a bit of shading, but make it quick and it just adds enough. I just want to blend that a bit out and leave that white. All right, so that's it. That's all my watercoloring I'm doing. Keeping it easy, turn that upside down so it doesn't get on my card. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a dry with my heat gun just to speed up everything. You can do that more like coloring, but just be wary of that. Use saddle brown, and then you can saddle brown stays on, and you can then mess with it even more. So we've got that and that. And we need our bird die, sorry. If you do it in red, it'll just be so Christmassy, extra Christmassy, isn't it? Alrighty, gonna move these guys out of the way. So we'll die cut that. So you saw that the watercoloring was quick. I didn't spend heaps of time on that. Great way to do some quick cuts, which is what we wanted Christmas time. I want to be spending like an hour a card sometimes, because if you're doing like 100, it's really hard. Okay, so we've got that. Now, so we'll bring in our piece of card here, and I am going to trim it down. So I don't need that. Just basically want this section. I'm going to go like that. So a very rustic card. It's rustic yet a little bit glitzy. And then I put my bird and it covers up my mistake. There you go. So we'll stick this down with glue. If you have any questions, please pop them on. I'm happy to help you. You can always call me or message me later if you think of anything. So glue that well. And then it has got, I didn't put glue right to the bottom because I wasn't sure how far it would go. Now we'll put some dimensionals on our bird. Isn't it sweet? Really nice little character. I'm going to flip this over and we'll cut off that excess. pancake card base. And it just really works well with that craft cardstock under there. Now with the embellishments, I'm going to use these festivals again. And oh, should I use that? Or I had originally used something else. No, you may use these guys. This is the in color opal rounds. They're really sweet. So now these are in our in colors evening evergreen, soft succulent, polished pink, fresh freesia, and pale papaya. But this soft succulent works well for with the pool party. I think it does. So you can work then they're really sweet. Do you use the putty side? I use this side all the time of my Take a Pic tool. I don't know why, I just prefer it. But the putty side is probably for this, is for this sort of thing. I don't know. I'm just so used to using my scissors, and then I keep using, yeah, there we are. So, putty side is better like that. And it just came off with me. And then we can push it into place. This one is not wanting to. Has it not? I might put some glue on that. So anytime I want a little bit of glue, I just put some on a side on my piece of scrap paper, and then I transfer it onto my card because you don't want your glue to come up in a major rush. And I might move that down, stick them down. And that's our second card. Now for the inside of the card, this is what I would do. Just go back in with our spots, and for the envelope as well, same. Just creates that nice cohesion of everything. Go with that. Thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. Makes it nice to be able to come and share with you and create for you. These cards I do make especially for this live. And though I may share it elsewhere, but they are made especially for our lives here. So it's really good to share with our community. Right. That didn't want to stick down. Well, today is the 24th, and tomorrow it's only 4 months till Christmas. So there you go. Amazing. Okay, so we have got our cards done. So this is the one we've just done now. Let's see how this guy is sticking down. Yeah. So this one might be a bit tricksy. And if and just leave it there. It's just because of, well, it just helps if I take the backing off on that one. Um, so we've got this card we did before, and even sometimes tear and tape helps, and it is a bit tricky with the shimmer paste. So when you do adhere it, just put your dimensionals on like in between, and that will help. Right, so we've got that. I didn't do the inside of that card yet, but I will. So that's one, two, and the first one we did, which was the gold through it, which is that one thing. So let me know which one you like the best, whether you like our watercolored bird with the Let Heaven and Nature Sing, and or whether you like our stamp bird with the gold embossing and the timber background, or if you like this with the leaves, with the silver leaves. I think this particular card even makes a great sympathy card as well. So you can you could even swap those out, but it just has a beautiful look about it. So I hope you liked that and enjoyed what I have shared, and that you can get some tips from that and create with that stamp set or some products you may have to use those ideas for you. Please sign up for my newsletter, and you are going to newsletter subscribers will receive the 3 tutorials free. Um, every week you're going to get a tutorial. Last week I was just super sick and I couldn't send that out to you, and I apologize for that. I will have the measurements in imperial and metric for you, so you can craft no matter where you are. Orders placed by Sunday, which is 28th, Sunday the 28th of August. Well, if your order reaches $150, I will throw in that white organdy ribbon, which was the glimmer which we used on this card before. That one. So you will get a roll of that. So orders of $90, you're going to qualify for a Sale-A-Bration product till the 31st. So I've used quite a few here, giving you some insight into what you might like. Hope that makes you able to select something that really will help you along your crafting journey. Thank you so much for joining me. If I can help you place your order, please contact me, or you can place your orders online. They all help me continue with crafting and helping sharing my love of crafting with you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.